Skinwalker Ranch, 1977, UFOs. Mutilations and the year the legends awoke in the remote plains of northeastern Utah lies a stretch of land where the veil between reality and the unknown seems thin. Known today as Skinwalker Ranch, this isolated property has become one of the most infamous paranormal hotspots in America. But long before it hit newspaper headlines, long before researchers swarmed the area, there was a year when strange events began quietly building. 1977. History and legends. The land now called Skinwalker Ranch sits deep in Ute tribal territory, but it is tied to a far older legend, that of the Ye-Nalbloche, or Skinwalker. In Navajo lore, these are witches who can transform into animals, creatures of shadow, feared and avoided at all costs. The Ute people, whose reservation borders the ranch, have long spoken of a pathway in this basin, a place where unnatural beings cross between worlds. For generations, locals avoided the property after sundown. Strange Signs, 1977, begins. By the mid-1970s, the ranch was privately owned and mostly used for cattle grazing. Yet whispers began circulating among ranchers and residents of the Uinta Basin. In early 1977, a ranch hand claimed to have seen lights in the sky, not the usual aircraft from nearby Vernal Airport, but silent, hovering spheres that glowed an icy blue. These objects would vanish in the blink of an eye. That summer, multiple cattle were found dead under strange circumstances, no signs of predator attack. Surgical-like incisions, but no blood, completely drained carcasses. Local law enforcement couldn't explain it, but the pattern mirrored cases seen across the American West at the time. The Wolf and the Watchers. One night in late 77, a ranch family claimed they saw something impossible. In the dim light, a wolf, massive, easily 3 times the size of any they'd seen before, approached their corral. Unlike a normal animal, it showed no fear of humans. When they tried to scare it away, it simply stared back, eyes glowing unnaturally. Moments later, it turned and trotted into the darkness, but in seconds, it seemed to vanish completely. Some described it as a skinwalker sighting. Others believed it was connected to the glowing crafts that had been seen earlier that year. The silent sky. Through the fall of 1977, the skies over Skinwalker Ranch were alive with activity. Witnesses, from ranchers to hunters, reported silent, disc-shaped objects, strange red lights darting between hills, and beams of light descending onto the ground. Though there was no media frenzy, locals kept note. The stories passed from mouth to ear, gaining a reputation that ranch is cursed or watched. Legacy. The events of 1977 didn't bring Skinwalker Ranch into the national spotlight. That would come decades later. But for those who lived in the Uinta Basin, the year marked a turning point. From that point on, the ranch was no longer just another stretch of grazing land. It became a focal point for strange lights, animal mutilations, and encounters with creatures that defy explanation. When researchers finally arrived in the 1990s, they discovered a rich backstory, one in which 1977 stood as an early and chilling chapter. Was 1977 the year the legends of Skinwalker Ranch came alive? Or had they been here all along, waiting for the right moment to be noticed? Perhaps in that lonely stretch of Utah, the Watchers are still out there, waiting for us to notice again. Subscribe for more mysteries, and comment if you've ever faced something like this.